A delegation of Nghệ An province paid a working visit to the United States.
China temporarily halted imports of spiny lobster from Vietnam.
Coastal road clearance, responsibility of localities.
Hello everyone, thank you for watching today's news on NTV channel. My name is Đăng. Let's get started. A delegation of Nghe An province led by Mr. Nguyễn, chairman of the Provincial People's Committee, paid a working visit to the United States from November 6th to 11th.
Within the framework of the working trip, the delegation of Nghệ An province had a meeting with Consulate General of Vietnam in Houston City, Texas. Consul General of Vietnam in Houston City emphasized the working visit to U.S. expressed Nghệ An province's interest in finding and promoting cooperative relations with U.S. partners in the coming time. Mr. Nguyen Duc Trung thanked Consul General for the warm welcome. Mr. Nguyen Duc Trung requested Consulate General of Vietnam in Houston City to continue to pay attention and support Nghệ An province in contact activities with U.S. businesses, introducing investment opportunities in Nghệ An to businesses in fields such as semiconductor technology, manufacturing industry, material production, financial and banking services.
China temporarily stopped importing live lobster from Vietnam without specifying any reason.
According to the Department of Fisheries, Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, some export establishments and Truyen Provincial Fisheries Association reported that China stopped importing spiny lobsters. Meanwhile, lobster farming households in Can Hoa also said that China stopped buying spiny lobster from October. China is still the largest import market of Vietnamese lobster. In the first 8 months of this year, Vietnam's lobster exports to China reached $76 million, down 42% compared to the same period in 2022. While waiting for response from China, Department of Fisheries recommended strengthening the lobster seed quality, disease prevention and guide lobster farmers to obey the regulations.
Coming up next are some updated news.
The United States would oppose a reoccupation of Gaza by Israel's military. According to National Security spokesperson John Kirby, U.S. President Joe Biden believes that reoccupation of Gaza by Israel's military is not the right thing. The latest warning from the White House came after Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said that Gaza should be governed by those who don't want to go down the path of Hamas. Last week, Secretary of State Blinken urged Israel to temporarily stop its military offensive on Gaza to allow hostages and civilians to leave Gaza and deliver aid to the Palestinians. However, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu rejected this recommendation.
The European Commission recommends starting membership negotiations with Ukraine on November 8. The final decision will be made at the EU summit in December, during which the bloc's executive must prepare a report on Ukraine's progress on 7 areas of reform. During a visit to the Ukrainian capital on November 4, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that Ukraine has met more than 90% of the requirements to start official EU membership negotiations. The decision to launch EU accession negotiations with Ukraine will require the consent of all 27 member states.
From November 7, 2023, Nghệ An people who perform online public services with 9 groups of administrative procedures will receive a 40% reduction in fees compared to when working directly at the headquarters. Accordingly, the rate of fees and charges when carrying out administrative procedures through online public services in Nghệ An province is equal to 60% of the rates of fees and charges of 9 categories. The group of fields specified in 10 resolutions issued by the Provincial People's Council. Groups with reduced fees for online public administrative procedures include fees for project appraisal fee, exploration reports, assessment of reserves, exploitation and use of underground water, fees for appraisal of documents and conditions for practicing underground water drilling, fees for appraisal of surface water and seawater exploitation.
Floods triggered by heavy rains during the day and night of November 7 caused locals living along Mi Swat Street in Da Nang to evacuate at night. Around 10 p.m. of November 7, Hoa Khan Nam Ward Police Force and Lian Chu District Police of Da Nang City arrived to help people in the Mi Swat area evacuate to avoid floods. According to locals, from 7 p.m., heavy rain and floods suddenly came down, causing locals' houses to begin flooding. At about 9 p.m., the rain gradually subsided, but the flood still flowed through. During this flood, residential areas were flooded more than 1 meter.
Until the end of October 2023, there are still 4.7 kilometers from kilometer 7 to kilometer 76 of the coastal road through Nghe An that has not been handed over to the construction organization. If the site clearance work is not determined to be carried out by locality, the project's progress will continue to be delayed.
Compared to early September, Gwyn Lu District has handed over nearly 500 meters more site length to the Coastal Road Construction Organization. The remaining 1.5 kilometers of site length has not been handed over. Among 5 localities with coastal road passing through, Ghi Loc District has the longest site length that has not been handed over, nearly 2 kilometers. For nearly a year, there is nothing changed in the site clearance work here.
We will direct specialized branches to count, calculate, and quickly approve the compensation plan as soon as possible so that local people can receive money and resettlement, and hand over the land.
It is not feasible for Ghi Loc District to complete resettlement for households of Ghi Quang Commune in December 2023, though it is the direction of province. However, when the work of determining the origin of the land and the compensation plan has not been completed, implementing the next steps will take a lot of time.
This is the end of our show today. Thank you for watching.